is Marjane Satrapi, but I prefer to be called Margie, and I am a 10-year-old girl. I used to know what I was gonna be when I grew up. I thought to myself, I'm gonna be a prophet. Yes, that's right, and I'm gonna have lots of disciples and make my very own book like each prophet has, and people will follow me. I knew it because God told me. Just last night I had a conversation with him about whether I was ready or not. He said I was his best and last choice. I knew I was going to be the next prophet. However, I told my parents that I was going to be a doctor though. Everyone at class in school didn't believe I was going to become a prophet. They said a girl couldn't be a prophet. I wanted to make peace. This is really because with all the problems from the revolution, people were in fights all day, protests and stuff like that. Everyone wanted the Shah to leave. For me, it was hard to understand what was going on, to have a grasp on the current situation of my country. I would always hear my parents talking about what happened to them during the day. All of them would somehow be linked to the Shah. One day, a theater got burned and people got locked inside of it. There was police guarding who wouldn't let anyone inside or outside. And according to the Shah, religious fanatics caused this event. However, some people speculated that the Shah had something to do about it. That very same night, I asked my parents if I could go to a protest with them in the next day. I wanted to help. For a revolution to succeed, the entire population must support it. But I wasn't allowed to go. The only thing I knew about the protest is that the army eventually started shooting at people, and the people threw stones back at them. Luckily, my parents were fine. Every afternoon, they'd arrive tired and ached all over. For me, it was hard to understand how they did it, and how things really worked on the country. I remember that afternoon, I told my parents that I liked the Shah, because he'd been chosen by God. My teacher said so, and it was in the front of my textbook. You see, that's to show how the Shah could influence a lot of things at this time. Actually, and according to my dad, Reza, the father of the Shah, was an illiterate, low-ranking soldier, whom the British put him as emperor in exchange for oil. God had nothing to do with it. My main point is, it was hard for me to understand what was going on. So, two sides. There were news services and teachers talking to me from one side, but my parents from the other, each of them saying different things. I guess that's what made me interested in the politics of my own country. I was really into that sort of thing. For example, my favorite book was a book titled Dialectic Materialism. In the book, you could see Marx and Descartes. Descartes argued that the actual world, the material world, didn't exist, but it was rather a product of your own imagination. Marx, however, didn't believe that. That's why I believe there are problems in our country, because people don't know what is actually going on. They don't have the right idea of what's happening. I myself have already told you that not everything I say is true. Usually, my parents would correct me about it or tell me what actually happened. I want to someday see my country living in peace, a whole country in union. But those are just my ideas.
Marjane, can you come over here?
Yeah, sure. Have to go.